Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 119th Congress for the House Committee on Agriculture. As I like to say, the original A Committee. This meeting will come to order. Note that a quorum is present and each member has before them the material on our agenda today at their place on the rostrum. So good morning and welcome to the organizing meeting of the House Committee on Agriculture for the 119th Congress. America's agriculture industry is the livelihood, it's the lifeblood of our nation, providing the food, the fuel, and the clothing that we depend on. And while this may be our first meeting, the 119th, I expect to spend a lot of time together in this hearing room as we work to deliver real solutions for our farm families, our rural communities, and ultimately every American family. Today we meet during a time of significant challenge for our farmers and ranchers. The farm economy is struggling under the weight of skyrocketing input costs, persistent inflation, just a tremendous agriculture trade deficit, and regulatory burdens that stifle innovation and growth. Family farms, which are the backbone of our agricultural system, are bearing the brunt of these pressures, and it's our duty to act swiftly to provide relief. This committee's number one priority for this Congress will be the passage of a bipartisan 5-year farm bill, one that restores the farm safety net, prioritizes voluntarily, locally led, and incentive-based conservation programs, advances our competitiveness through robust market access and trade promotion opportunities, strengthens programs, including those in the nutrition title, to demand transparency and accountability to the taxpayer and revitalize rural communities and restore their prosperity. Second, the committee will work with USDA to prioritize the quick and efficient disbursement of the American Relief Act economic aid. Our farmers cannot afford any delay. There is so much more under the purview of this committee that will require our attention and action, whether it be digital assets or legislation to reduce government bureaucracy and spending. And I'm committed to ensuring the voices of our farmers, our ranchers, foresters, rural communities, and consumers guide our efforts. And before I close, I'm thrilled to welcome a talented group of agriculture advocates to the dais. First, Dan Newhouse of Washington's 4th District. Mr. Newhouse is a third-generation Yakima Valley farmer who previously sat on this committee and recently chaired the Congressional Western Caucus, did so with distinction. And so welcome back, Dan. Next, we welcome Tony Weed from Wisconsin's 8th District with deep roots in the Northeast Wisconsin, entrepreneurial spirit, and a constituency of dairy cows. Tony, I'm excited to see what you bring to this committee. Welcome to my fellow Keystone State Pennsylvanian Rob Bresnahan of the 8th District. Much like my own district, Rob's district is filled with a variety of agriculture goods from potatoes to poultry and everything in between. Northeastern Pennsylvania will have a fighter on their side here, and welcome Rob. And I'm always pleased to have Mark Harris from North Carolina's 8th District. Mark's a family man, which bodes well for his district. Did you know that 95% of the farms in Mark's district are family farms? Those farms produce a wide range of goods from tobacco to eggs and everything in between. Mark, I'm excited to have you on this committee. Next, welcome Dave Taylor from Ohio's 2nd District. Before his election to Congress, Dave was the president of Sardinia Ready Mix Incorporated. Now, don't let that name fool you. He was not a sardine farmer. But he did lead 24 hardworking Americans and understands firsthand the challenges small businesses face. Dave, I'm looking forward to seeing how your experience will help us support farms across our nation. And lastly, but certainly not least, Mark Mesmer of Indiana's 8th District. While in the Indiana Senate, Mark sponsored a bill to ban foreign ownership of agricultural land, helping to protect farms across Indiana and preserve our national security. Mark, I'm excited to have your leadership and experience in this committee as we work together to support American agriculture. And I'd finally like to recognize a few historic firsts for our committee. In the 117th Congress, David Scott of Georgia made history by becoming the first African American to ever chair the House Agriculture Committee. He has served this committee with distinction as both a chairman and ranking member, and over the years we have agreed on some things, disagreed on other things, but we've always come together to serve America's agriculture community. He's my brother in Christ and a friend, and I speak for all of us when I say thank you for your service. Also, Congresswoman Angie Craig of Minnesota was selected by her caucus as ranking member, becoming the first woman to serve as such for the committee. She has served in Congress since 2019 and spent that tenure with us on the Agriculture Committee. And I look forward to partnering on issues important to all of us throughout the 119th. Congratulations, Angie. The House Committee on Agriculture reflects the men and women who are the backbone of our great nation. It is an honor to serve them, and it will be an honor to serve with all of you. I now yield to the ranking member for an opening statement and introduction of the new Democrat members.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I'm excited to get to work with you, and it's been an honor to get to know you even better over the last several weeks. As the granddaughter of an Arkansas farm foreman, I know what it's like to grow up in a farm family. Agriculture's in my blood. I have the privilege of representing Minnesota's 2nd Congressional District, which is filled with corn and soybeans and lots of turkeys as well. My grandfather lost the farm in the 1980s farm crisis, and I saw what losing that meant to him and to my family and to my community. So I take what I hear from farmers and ranchers to heart. One thing I hear time and time again from producers is they need certainty and steadiness. With that in mind, it's critical that we pass a bipartisan farm bill that strengthens the farm safety net and provides opportunities for new and beginning farmers. Mr. Chairman, we've worked well together in the past. I spent a great day with you recently at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. That milkshake was everything that you said it would be. Good. And of course, we sat together at the inauguration on Monday. Mr. Chairman, I want to work with you on a new farm bill that keeps farmers farming and that builds up rural America and that supports those who rely on USDA programs. Bipartisanship is the only way we get this done. Last year's bill had some really strong provisions on the farm program side and others that we think needed a little work. It didn't have the votes to pass, and right now it doesn't have the votes to pass again. I want a different result this Congress. I want to build a bill that GT and I can stand together shoulder to shoulder and support. But that doesn't take the two of us alone. It takes all of us on this committee working together. A committee, I might add, that has a strong history of bipartisanship. I would be remiss not to mention reconciliation. I, like my colleagues, have seen Chairman Arrington's menu of cuts. Bringing those cuts to this committee during a reconciliation markup, I fear, would jeopardize the bipartisan support we all know a farm bill needs in order to pass. SNAP creates demand for food that farmers grow, manufacturers package, truckers haul, and grocery stores sell. We need to make sure that we consider all the people that the Farm Bill serves, and I hope we don't let politics mess that up. I'm laser focused on making sure we get a new Farm Bill that works for America's family farmers. It's time to get it done. I look forward to working with you, Mr. Chairman, and all of my colleagues, and now I'd love to introduce you to our new Democratic members of the Agriculture Committee. First, I'd like to welcome Dr. Shri Tandahar from Michigan to the committee. He's been a long-time advocate for hardworking families in Metro Detroit, both as a member of Congress and in the Michigan State Legislature. Next, it's my pleasure to welcome Adam Gray from California, who grew up working in his family's dairy supply and feed store. Adam knows firsthand the impacts that the ag supply chain shortages have on the agriculture community. Another new member to the committee from Michigan, Kristen McDonald Rivet, grew up in a small town and was raised in a working-class household. Kristen is a first-generation college student receiving her bachelor's degree from Michigan State University. We won't hold that against you. And her master's degree at the University of Michigan, Flint. From the newly formed 2nd District in Alabama, I would like to welcome Shamari Figures. Shamari has a long history of public service as a White House liaison and as a counsel for Congress, where he served as an advisor on issues including civil rights, immigration, homeland security, child welfare, and policing. Taking my friend Abigail Spanberger's seat, I welcome Eugene Venman from Virginia to the committee as well. Eugene came to America with his father, brothers, and grandmother when he was just 4 years old. He's a retired U.S. Army officer and former deputy legal advisor for the National Security Council. I would also like to welcome the new member from New York, Josh Riley. Even though he can't be here with us today due to illness, he was hospitalized this week, he is here in spirit. Josh is a 5th-generation upstate New Yorker who was born and raised in a working-class neighborhood. Josh witnessed firsthand the impact to his community when the local factories closed and understands the importance of supporting local jobs. Another new member from New York, John Mannion, represents New York's 22nd Congressional District, including the communities of Syracuse, I'm not going to say all these right, Auburn, and Cortland. John spent nearly 3 decades teaching high school science and served as a New York State Senator, and in that role, he fought to boost employment opportunities for individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities. Our last new member, April McLean Delaney, represents Maryland's 6th Congressional District. Born and raised in Idaho and the second daughter of an Idaho potato farmer, April knows the importance of supporting our nation's farmers. As a mother of 4, like me, she's committed to addressing rising cost. These outstanding new members join our outstanding returning members, and I look forward to working with them as well as all of you across the aisle. I yield back, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much for your warm welcome.
I thank the gentlelady. One last introduction before we proceed. I think we as members are all so appreciative of our staff and the hardworking staff, their dedication, their commitment to the committee. We have a fairly new addition, most recent addition to the committee staff, and so I want to take this opportunity to recognize the committee's new chief clerk, Jackson Blodgett. Jackson comes to us from the Senate Agriculture Committee, and we won't hold that against him. Actually, I think it just shows good discernment. He came to the House. I'll leave it at that. He also worked for the clerk's office and the previous 2 inauguration committees, and Jackson hails from upstate New York, and we are happy to have him here. Welcome, Jackson. With that, we'll move ahead with our business that we have. Does the ranking member seek recognition to offer a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that the chairman, in consultation with the ranking member, be authorized to act for the committee in matters affecting staff and administration of the committee.
Is there discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The next item of business is the committee rules for the 119th Congress. In front of each member on the dais is an en bloc amendment with changes to the rules of the 118th Congress. I now recognize the ranking member for a further motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the committee approve the committee rules for the 119th Congress, which are the rules that were in effect during the 118th Congress with changes in the en bloc amendment.
Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it, and the motion is adopted. Without objection, pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2A, the rules of the Committee on Agriculture for the 119th Congress will be submitted to the House for publication in the Congressional Record. Pursuant to Rule 10 of Clause 9, there is at each member spot a copy of the majority, minority, and nonpartisan committee staff assignments that, without objection, will be adopted by the committee. Seeing no objection, so ordered. The next item of business is the adoption of the Authorization and Oversight Plan. Pursuant to Rule 10, Clause 2D1 of the House, the committee must adopt an authorized Authorization and Oversight Plan and submit a copy simultaneously to the Committee on House Oversight and Accountability, the Committee on House Administration, and the Committee on Appropriations no later than March 1. I'd like to note that this plan has been prepared in coordination with the ranking member and was made available to member staffs for review. Does any member wish to be recognized to discuss the authorization and oversight plan? Seeing none, without objection, the committee authorization and oversight plan for the 119th Congress is adopted and will be forwarded to the respective committees as required by House rules. Without objection, the usual instructions are given to staff that consist of making such technical, clarifying, or conforming changes as are appropriate without changing the substance of the text, including but not limited to formatting, punctuation, and capitalization. Seeing no further matters on the agenda, the committee will now adjourn, subject to the call of the chair. Thank you, everybody.